have some words that I wanted to say, but if you don't mind, I will just speak from my heart today. When I was at the transfer station, I worked there for over 17 years. And we all would see hazardous material and toxic materials being dumped. We all were too afraid to say anything because we wanted to hold on to our jobs. And you ever get tired of being tired? I got to that point. And as I started to really think about what was occurring, I started to thinking about we're pushing sludge and hazardous materials into the water system 5 and 6 days a week. And this water isn't being filtered. And while this hazardous material is being dumped, we're exposed to it. So that made me start taking photos. And I started talking to Dave and Marva Patterson, who are activists in the community. And it was a funny thing because we were looking at one of the signs, and the sign said, "No commercial vehicles allowed." And I would see commercial vehicles every day dumping. And so Dave and Marva asked me, why are commercial vehicles coming in there? And I said, wow, the city wouldn't do that. This is the city of Cleveland. So make a long story short, I started researching. And then I started finding out how dangerous waste really is. Waste can kill. If you don't think so, Google liquid waste. That's the runoff, the liquid that comes off of garbage or waste. It's very toxic. Well, I would see it dumped every day. And then I started seeing chemicals, asbestos, silicas, infectious materials. I would see paints and solvents. Everything that the signs posted that's not permitted was being dumped 6 days per week. And the employees, they were exposed to it. And yet, we're still too afraid to say anything. We want to keep getting that paycheck. The paycheck was more important than us, more important than our lives. I started watching people get sick. I started watching people get cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. And I said, why are these people getting sick? And I started reading. Pollution in 2015 was responsible for approximately 9 million deaths. Pollution? I started digging a little deeper. Then I saw that most times these facilities are placed in low-income areas, and that's why at that time President Clinton made a proclamation to really monitor these types of facilities, because these people get away with murder. If they're not monitored, you're not watching. And then I started to thinking, what can I do? They're gonna come for me. And when they come for you, they come hard. I'm one person. thought about it. Wow. If I believe in the Lord, why should I have any fear? And every way that I can think of, my Creator has placed angels in my path to guide me every step. There's a young lady in here today that works for me, that works with me. God placed her in my path. She checked on me. And it was funny because every time this young lady called me, I was getting depressed. I was thinking, am I able to make this race? Dave and Marvel, man, I know that there's a Creator. Because these two right here, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. There is God, and He's going to handle these people. And I say this, in Ohio, African American women have the third highest breast cancer mortality rate. We ought to do something, okay? I talked to some of my friends who are involved in environmental issues. And we discussed the fact that African Americans don't get out there and walk. They don't get involved. And so I decided to get involved. I have to get involved. Someone said, I don't want to call Prissy because when I call her, that's all she wants to talk about. But when you're passionate about people dying, you have to do something. You have to. Because a young lady, when I asked her, she told me she had to make some pies for the church. And a friend of mine said, she may not be around next year to make that pie. We have to stop expecting others to do our work. I only saw a few hands there. I said our work. At the facility I work at, the person that was over us, he just had 5 bypasses and a whole soul in his heart. The young lady that worked with me, she died. She was having a second stent put in her heart. Young man, he's passing out. He's passed out several times with heart issues. I'm watching people with cancer. And they don't even understand that these people are allowing waste to sit for almost a month. Waste is dangerous. Garbage is dangerous. They never had one training while I was there. Not one, because they did not want us to know. They did not want us educated. Because if you get educated, you're apt to do something. Right now, I'm standing in front of you. I have 2 tears, full tears in my arms, where a supervisor told the group they weren't allowed to help me carry a fire hose. And that resulted with 2 tears. I have to have surgery in my right arm. Not one time did I get a call and say, Crystal, we're sorry, you need anything. So I say that to say this. These are people who don't care about us. They don't care about us, so we have to start caring about ourselves. And I'm going to say this. I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to inform you guys that we're working on a podcast because we want the community informed. We want the people to know what the city of Cleveland is doing behind their backs. They stopped my story from getting on the news. They have a long reach. But they won't stop me or my passion from doing as Jesus did if I have to go door to door. I'm going to get the word out. I'm going to educate people and allow them to understand that we have to do something about this situation. And I say this, and I'll leave this with you. I did not tell my family. I only told a few select people. When I was told I have cancer, I didn't believe it. I was in denial. I thought these people were crazy. I didn't accept it. And then I thought about it. I got that nasty word. I'm not going to accept that. I said I have to do something because I'm going to even that scale. I'm going to make these people know that they mess with the wrong person. Look at my mother looking stunned back there. What? She got what? I've never told my family. As I said, I told a select few. I never told many of my friends. I had to deal with that the best way that I could at the time. But now, I put on my gloves. You're going to stop dumping hazardous materials in our communities. I hope that you all support us. Yes. And I wanted to say that we have to start supporting the activists in our communities because they allow us the luxuries to lay back in our beds. They allow us the luxuries to do some of the things that we do. Okay? I hear people saying, well, it's the holiday. Don't you understand that when you got other things to do, that these people are planning and plotting against us? That people are actually dying. They're dying. Everybody in here knows people who are sick and dying fast. This environmental problem is serious. It affects us all. And I'm going to say this. I told a friend of mine who is a white male, I said, we have to get involved. We have to stop expecting white people to do what we're supposed to do ourselves. You got to stop sitting at home frying chicken. Okay? You got to stop that. You got to stop making excuses. You guys have to play a part in this. You are here today on the backs of other people, and it's time. These young people are affected by what we do. When you vote because you heard a person's name. You don't really get to know why you're voting for the person. People were voting for Frank Jackson. I knew all of this. These people were getting rich at the transfer station, getting millions of dollars from allowing these companies to come in here and dump hazardous materials. That money goes in their pockets. I don't care what they say. The sign from the EPA, the state regulated signs say no commercial vehicles allowed. And they're coming all day. I have thousands of photos showing you the chemicals that they've done. Thousands. I have a gentleman right there, Dave, that can tell you. He got a note from his doctor saying, I can't work over there. It's serious. And the employees back there don't have a clue, some of them. The ones that truly get it, it's 1 or 2 or 3 that's willing to stand up because they're afraid for their jobs. So we on the outside, we have to start doing something. I'm asking you, and I know this might be, I don't know if this is on deaf ears, but I'll beg. We need your help. We need you to do something. We need you to stand up. We need you to be a part of this. And I'm going to end with this. People know me. I'm the one that get the plastic doo-doo. I love practical jokes. But this is something I'm passionate and serious about. And I always end saying this. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for the gift of integrity, of wisdom, and of courage. And I also want to say thank you, Dave and Marvel, for being my team. Because really, in reality, and my heart feels it, is you two who deserve this award. Thank you.